Well, it's come down to this. Welcome back, folks, for Alliance versus Nigma game number 5. It is do or die, go or leave. All in, one game, barn burner, we are here. Either team, judging by this series so far, could take this as well. It's hard to call, Matt. Who do you favor, right? Like, are you still with Nigma? Do you like their game plan, judging on this series so far from what you've seen? Or do you think, like, Alliance, the momentum they're playing off here, the way they bounced back in that last game, do you feel like they have an edge coming to this one slightly?
I think these teams are so close that you literally need to wait until the entire draft is done, and maybe even just see how they're going to go about their laning matchups as well, until you can actually make a definitive call, or even a guesstimate, as to how this game's going to go, because it's been neck and neck all through.
Indeed true. And the draft has opened up the same way. The bans are slightly
Mm.
different, but we saw some in the last game. The Snapfire and the StarLadder prioritized. Neither team are going to get both of these in combination. And the question is, does Alliance pick that Nyx? Can't imagine they give it over with how good Farda's performance
He
was last
banned
time. Oh, that's true. Yes, you're right. First phase. So,
and Batrider.
yeah, the Batrider I saw, I didn't quite notice the Nyx at first glance. So then, if we're looking at that situation, who did they ban last game? I'm trying to think what the biggest priority was. I think Oracle might have been banned on these. The Timber is, of course, a given. I wondered if Alliance would wait until the second phase, but I guess they're worried about the ban potential.
They banned the Tiny Lifestealer last game.
That was it. Lifesteal are a bit surprising that early in the draft. Usually that's something that we don't see picked in the first phase, right? It's usually a second phase type hero right now.
Mm. I'm not as big of a fan of this Timbersaw being picked up in the first phase, just because it leaves you with fewer options. You don't know if it's a really great Timbersaw draft, but I think Alliance see every draft as a great Timbersaw draft, so that's kind of null and void. And speaking of void, like that segue there, I think it's a good way of getting in onto that Snapfire, because she just caused an insane amount of havoc in the past game. I think dealing either second or just third most damage on the team as the position 5 with the save as well. It's pretty nuts when you think about it.
No, absolutely. It's the potential of this hero is why it's a big thing that a lot of people have been complaining about. Oh, Mortimer's Kiss is broken. Please nerf, please nerf, please nerf. And yes, it's a lethal spell given the right situation, right? In a vacuum. Of course, there are good counters to it, especially in the meta right now. Nyx, incredibly popular, which was banned out. Puck also banned out as another way for you to get on the back line. As you mentioned, Void Spirit, the counterpart, and these two new heroes, a means to reach that back line and interrupt the artillery bombardment of this friendly little dragon.
He is a cute little fella, isn't he?
It's adorable. I'm really torn when you see Puck on one side and Snapfire on the other. It's like, which one is cuter at this stage?
Man, I can't unsee it now. Like, I know he needs something to hold that big cannon onto his back, but why does it look like he's wearing bondage? It does!
Look,
Come on!
the alternative was bolting it to his back, and that's a whole different kind of penetration. Anyway, we're
Couldn't it
about.
just be a backpack, dude? Like.
I'm sorry. Do you know how cannons work? Do you know what recoil is?
I mean, this is Dota, you know?
It's a
You've got
shotgun,
heroes
sir.
that do. Nah, it has better range than shotgun. Anyway,
I'm just gonna move you away from bondage
we're done with the
and
Valentine's Day
animal
talk. It's all good.
abuse. Yeah. You've reached the end of the day. I'm still midway through, but don't worry. I've got plenty of cuties in chat to keep me company. Ain't that right, Twitch? It's as we enter this second phase. And what is Alliance gonna get? Maybe some catch?
Ooh.
Ooh. We haven't seen Disruptor in a while. I don't
Okay.
think I've seen him at all today. I don't think I've seen him in the entire qualifier for this minor so far. Good against the
Yeah.
Void Spirit, though, right? You've now got that instant preparation. Like, you see him, you just drop Static Storm, and unless he's got a BKB, he's sitting there going, oh, what did I do wrong in this life?
It really depends on. I need to double check if the glimpse changes with the new change to how it affects certain things. Like, you could Astral, for example, previously, and you would still get brought back to the original glimpse location. But now you can actually dodge the glimpse, and it was like a shadow change that was never mentioned in the patch notes, which
As
people
we
just
always
had
get.
to accept. Yeah. So I'm not sure how that works with Void Spirit, just because it's a newer addition to it. With his W.
Yeah, it's amazing how many small things still slither through. I don't know if they ever fixed the kinetic field interaction with Wind Ranger's Wind Run, where I think it was just a few months back, it was possible for you to spam move clicks. And if you're wind
Mm,
running, you'd like basically wiggle and force your way through as if you covered yourself in butter and try to get through a door that's way too small for you.
yeah. So maybe this disruptor pick, like previously, where you couldn't pick things like the OD or the Park, which is banned anyway, or heroes that go things like Manta style, because you're like, well, doesn't really matter against the disruptor. Now
All
it
in.
actually gets out of a lot of these things, so it opens up the draft on Nigma a little more than in the past, and you can exploit some of the things that disruptor is not quite as good at, such as playing from behind. And so maybe going something that was a little more aggressive early on, and trying to take advantage and just seize the game from the first 10 minutes, get both outposts, and try and coast away until the end of the game.
Absolutely. And Skywrath, a hero which can actually function
That's
very well against the
aggressive.
disruptor. We just don't see it very often. I especially love this with the voice spirit, the potential. And on the laning phase, you can just couple it with the StarLadder, right? And then transition. It's a lot of aggression, as you said, just swinging out of those lanes.
Yeah.
Question is, what was your
What?
response right now? Do you go for some bulky? You probably want some sort of solid catch, right? Like Disruptor's good after the fact, but getting on top of them first, especially with this Skywrath.
Yeah, it's going to be a bit tough, and he's definitely going to be again. I feel like this entire series has been about positioning in team fights, but also just area control, and even more so now. Skywrath area control, absolutely insane. Tiny, great at area control. You can maneuver where these team fights are taking place. You can force people into choke points. You can force people into kinetic fields, for example. It's absolutely insane the amount of maneuverability that Alliance has. Now, are Nigma going to be able to counter that with heroes slippery enough to get out of these precarious situations, such as the Life Stealer, such as the Void Spirit? StarLadder, in some situations, yes. And I think it's really going to be up to this Skywrath to just be able to know when is safe, because if I'm being honest, there's going to be very few situations where it's going to be safe for this guy to go in.
Exactly. The Tiny's the perfect kind of response. There's something that can actually pluck the wings off this poor fella. And at the same time, you look at Nigma, they do have a strong potent combo with the Slido, the Lifestealer. You have Lifestealer's likely to go for the Armlet Deso type build. Then you have the double minus armor we talked about previous game. You're going to have that happen again. And also, this should be given that opportunity to create the space that he was very formidable on early on the day on this Void Spirit. Against this type of lane, this type of team, rather, you can see that potential. I think Alliance really need to throw a curveball with this final pick. Maybe look for some sort of cheese opportunity if there is one available.
Yeah, still no Chen was picked up. I suppose there's a good amount of AoE damage that was available on uh, Alliance's side already. But still, just realizing, well, that's probably the last thing that they've got remaining for their draft to bring it all together. I don't think they're going to go for a Midas on the Lifestealer. I think Nigma are going to be trying to get a lot more aggressive than that. Or they could just be going 4 heroes going towards one lane and then just creating a ton of space for this POS 1 Lifestealer. Going with the AA to finish things off. So does hinder the Timbersaw's ability to sustain himself in team fights.
Most definitely so. And this is more aggression. This is a situation where you're looking, you go, okay, we've got this life stealer. He should be able to actually just defend and hold himself to an extent. So now you have the potential combo of open wounds with cold feet, or you have a tri lane potential, right? Where you run Skywrath, Ancient Apparition, probably behind the Slardar, and just run your opponents over in the first 2-3 minutes and then just rotate. And this means
Yeah.
Alliance, where do you go? You can't go for more tanky sustain. You've already got this Timber and this Tiny that are feeling a bit susceptible to the AA. If anything, you need burst right now. And you are outdone and outclassed in the physical department in that regard already.
Well, last pick. How are they going to tie this all together? 15 seconds left for what could be the most important pick of this patch, let's say, for Alliance. And this is it. This team gets to go to the lovely Ukraine to play in the StarLadder Minor, and it's a
Oh
Medusa.
no.
Wow. Something very different. Not something you see every day.
I I'm scared for my script. Let's go with prediction.
Your
Sorry,
script.
My prediction.
The cat's
And
out of the bag. Hold on.
let's just say that Medusa is looking a little bit dicey of a pick. Yes, there are scenarios where you can make it work. I believe Nigma had it backfire in their face yesterday, even after going for the rapier rush. This is the type of game where I could see a rapier being effective, but you don't have any like protection, right? So if they get on top of Medusa, you're just kind of done in this type of game, right? So you're probably going for the more tanky mana shield dependently or mana pool dependent style of play. But then who's doing the damage to this lifesteal, this void spirit, this StarLadder? Lim's gonna have to carry this game for a good 25 minutes. And when I say carry, I mean like he's basically gonna have everyone on hold on top of his back, and he's still gonna be in tiny level 1 form, okay? It's gonna be rough.
Yeah. He's going to be hurling them over his shoulder like he does with that gigantic tree. Luckily for them, though, it's one of his best heroes, and it has been for a very, very long time. So the comfort's there. I mean, that's really what you want to go for in a game 5. Nothing crazy. Don't try and break the wheel or anything like that. Just go with what works for you. And I mean, I feel like this is something that Nico Baby particularly would have been asking for. Give me something like the Medusa where I can carry the rest of my team once Limp gives me the space to do so.
Definitely. And I'm not saying the Alliance can't win this at all. I'm just saying the way that Medusa has been functioning in these drafts, it's similar to when you see a team draft the Naga, right? Where it's like, okay, you've just forfeited that you're not present for a very long time. And I will say that Nigma look like they have a slight advantage when you consider the way the heroes function in the laning phase and immediately beyond, right? There is definitely a lot more ramp up there. Because if a Medusa has a good start, you don't really turn it into aggression. You just keep farming. And you're like, this is great, guys. Just go do something elsewhere. I don't want to be part of this. I just want to be left to my own devices. Whereas if a lifesteal has a good start, it's armlet and then aggression.
Yes. The one thing is, if Alliance do get on the more advantageous side of the early-ish game, the high ground defense isn't incredibly strong on Nigma's side. It's not like they have something like a sniper that can just easily repel the siege that's going to be coming through from Nico Baby. And any sort of incorrect positioning is going to be heavily punished by Alliance's side. It's just, how do they get there? How do they get to that late stage of the game where he's got these early items and he's going to be able to do a lot of this ballista damage onto the tier 3 towers and the rest of the high ground.
And a big bridge part is Limp and what he can do. He's likely to go for that blink type build. It's not one of these greedy tinies where you can just try and farm into your AC, your crits, and just run. But there will be a conversion point where if you can actually make that gap close from being the blink dagger initiator into the hard hitter himself, then you have 2 fortresses on the side of Alliance, and then you're looking at the side of Nigma, and then you're going, yeah, you have this AA, but you don't, for example, have any hero that's going to build a spirit vessel in this game, which could hurt you later on, especially early on, even with the Timber, right? So you're really on your AA, you're really on Kuro to perform like a god and make sure that these kind of regenerative, these tanky elements of Alliance cannot exist.
I was about to say we're looking at another tri-lane coming from Alliance, but Fada TPing down to the bot side, making sure that Nico Baby's going to have a decent game because a huge portion of this relies on him getting to that later stage. If he's doing all right at 30-ish minutes, he's going to be doing all right, but is it going to get to that stage? I think the pressure might be a little bit too much from Nigma, but time will tell. Interesting build by GH as well, going in the crown into the 3 Ironwood branches. Oh, mind control is getting very low.
It's some pressure being applied on all lanes, but no one dying outright just yet. Mind control always have the ability to just back up. It's you trying to run into a Skywrath, and especially when he has that slow leveled. The best thing you can do is this trade straight into his face, though. Like, if GH allows them to get close, this is a hero with 1 armor. He feels every hit. But you do have to keep present. You have to keep that damage always churning on top of him.
Especially with that Fairy Fire as well. Just that little bit of extra damage coming from the snap. Able to trade pretty well against the Skywrath mate.
Meanwhile, Skywrath, GH is actually keeping a lot of pressure on Nico Baby. I mean, a lot.
This is true.
Mid
Forcing the salve, I think. Yeah.
is
Opted by
looking
Fada.
pretty even in the mid so far. No one's taking a clear lead. Tiny not as much of a bully as he once was in these mid 1v1s, but Limp, with being a specialist hero, you could see a situation which he tries for a pick, especially considering we won't have a point in to dissimulate until probably 5.
He's
Possibly
running away.
longer.
Oh, he has to be careful with his courier. Oh. Thought he was going to continue committing with that.
Actually, GH. Ooh, nice save from Mind Control. Definitely getting the worst for wear. And considering the way it's Snap 5 builds, you're probably going to see a headdress coming out soon. And then this harassment that you try and achieve as the Skywrath is going to be alleviated. However, if he snipes your courier, no headdress anytime soon.
Bit more
Ouch.
difficult. 1 CS each for Team Nigma.
As we talk about the mid lane. I was waiting for something to happen here, and Limp struck instantly. Still no points to dissimulate. He saw the opportunity, and he brings down the Void Spirit in a solo kill.
Already got this
And then
camp stacked up once. Ooh,
That's what we were waiting
well.
the whole time. Both these supports have been sitting on a sliver of HP each. And of course, in that situation, Skywrath always has the advantage.
Absolutely easily able to finish it off. I think GH, yep, he's going for the neutral death. 25 seconds, though, on the sidelines. Wonder if they might try and put some pressure here onto Mind Control now that he's going to be sitting here on his own.
It's a bit tough now that he's up to level 3. In the meantime, you actually will see Kuro die top rather as 33 does swoop in. Hanskin was able to assist with that glimpse play, which means at least you will be able to TP back to the lane without worrying about the glimpse back to base situation.
Yeah, nice pull being done by Fada though, trying to deny as much experience as he can. Now you've got GH though, TPing back to lane. He's got full health, full mana, and he's purchased up the magic stick and a couple of mangoes, so the harass is going to continue.
That's what we like to see. Don't want this static lane situation. Force the Medusa into a fight
Miracle.
scenario, and maybe she can do some work. Miracle will be able to move away. 33's always keeping him on his toes, though. It's just not a good lane for Lifestealer right now. Not with the changes, the way these heroes now interact. You don't take life away. You're a life fabricator.
Playing with fire a little bit, but realizing that he has those 10 stick charges. Wanting to go to the absolute limit there.
I mean, he's farming very well.
Yeah.
Miracle's sitting top of CS so far. So, despite the harassment, he is actually still getting his gold. And Voice Spirit, extremely low. Able to move away just in time. Limp is keeping the pressure on him all times. It's also just such a good hero for getting through this Resonant Pulse. Just one
dressing
final
up in
toss
every
to
way he can.
remind him. Just let him know that this is not his lane.
You got the bounties coming up in 10 seconds. No one moving from them yet outside of Hanskin.
You can actually just see these health bars jostling up and down everywhere. There's just back and forth aggression. And everyone just keeps getting so close to death. And you can see the mid lane right now. Either one could go down at this rate.
Oh, 3-3. He's sitting up on his own. Might be in a bit of trouble here.
They find him. Kuro gets the final tap. Nice little bit of cheddar in the change. And he can probably just go ahead and buy the boots if he wants to now. And there it is. So Kuro can now kite. Shouldn't be an easy pick off necessarily. Which is one of the big issues you usually run into early as an AA.
Look at these two mid laners. They completely leave the lane. I suppose both of them go on the bottle. And all this harass has been going on means that they are pretty poor on their resources.
The big difference is that
somewhat healthy.
you have to burst really hard as the tiny in this lane, and the mana investment is the difference, right? So, like, once we get to the 6, this lane is not a threat, and because you're an int scaling hero, you will be tank. You will have enough spam, shall we say, to just do what you want, farm, and then go do something on the map.
Oh,
Tiny
the script god's favor. Oh, I hate to say it, but it's looking pretty ominous. Hanskin, top.
And the mid, Limp tries to bring down Wee, gets away, but in the top, this combat Hanskin will go down. Miracle will TP away. He doesn't want to have any beef with 33. Yeah, I've got the little poll up we had. It turns out that Alliance has come in third place on that list. Nigma in second, and apparently something about a script is in first place with the most votes. I'm just going to close that. I'm not sure what that's about. Stun out. Butter will be silenced up. And this is a suicide mission right now. He won't get a chance to blow out that cookie, though. Hanskin can bring the glimpse back, though. And if he blocks here correctly, GH should be going down. And with the snake thrown out, Snake Lady gets herself some extra gold. Understanding that the Timber can now be left alone. He doesn't rely on anyone to babysit him when he's up to level 5 in this lane. Not the same necessarily for Miracle, though. He might need Kuro to hang around a bit longer.
How are these stacks going? Anything built up? I think just to the south of the Tiny in the mid lane is basically the only one that's been built up here.
Yeah, we haven't seen a high prioritization in stacks for this qualifier from what I've noticed.
What we can see is Weeha rotating down towards this bot side.
Chasing.
Hanskin out here.
Nico Baby is out of mana, so this is going to hurt on the stun. Perfectly timed with the A for Remnant's arrival. Kinetic Field to try and keep them away. Mind Control might go down first, but it's going to be a trade nonetheless. And in the top lane, there's already pressure on the Lifestealer, but too quick to move away from 33. Now Tiny. Oh, that's an easy pickings. We'll try for the kill on the GH, or is it so easy? He'll throw out this avalanche, but he sees a bigger opportunity. He goes for the kill on we instead. Like, fine, walk away. There needs to be one survivor to tell what happened in this bot lane.
Yeah, some hashtag value, and oh man, he's also going to get this Arcane Rune, or is he? You've got Mind Control looking to deny it, and very nicely done.
In with the yoink indeed, and we'll just sliver away after harassing Limp a little bit. And now Medusa's the middle.
You wanted the Arcane Rune? No.
I mean, he's not going to do anything with it, but he's just making sure Tiny can't with such a small mana pool. And then more importantly, missing out on those bottle charges. And now you can see the lanes have switched up a little. They have stuck Weebot. He wants to try and leverage his XP advantage to find some picks.
Have you seen this? You see where they just placed the ward in the Radiant jungle? I was watching a game today, I think it was Reality Rift against Boom. And that tiny little area to the left of the ward, which is still kind of high ground, you can place a ward there, and it gives decent vision. So I think you might be able to dodge the sentry ward on the top, like the vision that gives, and put it down there, and still give pretty decent. It's not high ground, but it's like, it's good vision.
Quite possibly. That's an interesting idea.
I haven't tested it yet.
Yeah, definitely something to try out. I still remember when teams in a qualifier decided to try out putting wards in these pits and then discovered they are as terrible as you'd think. You cannot see anything as it is low ground. You can also trap people in there. I think when the patch first dropped this pit next to that spot, you could actually trap people in. They fixed it since, but you can still do things like pin people with spears to them.
I think we're going to see a lot of action happening now, or maybe Nigma will look to back off. He's approaching that 10-minute mark, and Alliance did not want to be without an outpost.
No, the XP is important. You look at all their heroes, they scale well. Like Tiny wants the full combo. Medusa just wants to actually increase farm by having maxed out Split Shot, maxed out Snake. And then Timbersaw needs no explanation about why levels are so critical for this hero's success.
Yep. With that as well, getting closer and closer on the supports to their ultimates. Actually already has picked up on Fada here with the Snapfire, so can quickly turn it around, but GH should only be 1 or 2 creeps away.
And they might just use up Mind Control here. They can Kinetic Field him up, and then it's just a kill. I'll wait this out a little bit. Silence thrown out to Hanskin. He can survive for the moment. Nice slow. They don't even use the kisses to get the kill. They just bait him in. Mind Control thought he could do some work, and the kiss is coming out. The glimpse back as well is going to put GH close to them, but Hanskin able to sidestep in time, and they have just cooked some chicken in the bot lane. Still no response top because Kuroki is still not 6. One more creep would do it, and there it is. They could try and make a play here. 33 is not an easy target with a third hero maybe, but there's the chain away in time. Blast will be thrown out and through, and will hit true, but he throws down the tree with the GG branch, trying to move away. It's not going to be quick enough. Limp has arrived, though. A little bit too slow to get some vengeance, however, as they will back off.
Limp's really going in deep. This is a 1v4 situation.
He'll realize that now. Maybe a little bit too late. This was greedy from Limp. He knows it. Hopefully he learns from it. But he didn't learn soon enough, as he will be brought down.
They're trying to take advantage of the space as much as possible. This mid lane pushing in. Backing off, actually. Nice use of the Illusion Rune to pull the creep wave back away from the tower. Make it not so safe for Handskin and Fada.
More importantly, though, it is out of deny range. And 33,
Oh.
he was just here. He thought he could come back. They waited around. The Ice Blast isn't a long cooldown. It's actually even to your respawn time. So I dare you to come back again and see what happens.
Well, I guess it's at the stage of the game where they're like, look, we need to do stuff. Some of it's going to be stupid. But Nico Baby's farming. He's taken an Ancient stack at the moment. He's nearly level 10, so he's highest in the game, equivalent with Weeha. I think he's having an alright game. And that's really what it's about for them at this point.
It's just a matter of who has to be sacrificed, because yes, we've seen 33 die, but more importantly before that, right, we saw the painful experience for Limp with that rotation top that complete backfired. So his progression has been stunted a little, and you can see he just has to fall back to farming. There isn't any picks anymore. Instead, now that you have the ultimates online, you will see Nigma the ones who are constantly rotating, and GH with his Invis rune is looking for someone now.
Man, look how deep Miracle is. He is farming right in there, and they
He
actually
was
catch him in a stun.
confident, and I'm not sure why. Easy pickings for the side of Alliance, and the biggest kill they can find. Now on the sideline, that means that Medusa can start to build a lead over this Lifestealer.
Going straight into that Manda style, wanting to dispel a lot of the silence that's coming through. Potentially the Corrosive Haze be dispelled. Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
you can get rid of that with the Manta. Also, you can use the Manta Illusions to just tank the Aether Remnants as well. It has a lot of uses in this game. It's a very good item. Just naturally good on Medusa. You want the Yasha anyway. It's such high value. Glimpse.
Oh, they've glimpsed him
Static
back.
Storm. And they'll throw the kisses. This is what we call a Shavant commitment. Why go in hard when you can shoot from afar? And now the Avalanche toss combo. Stun fall off again. They catch him out, and they're going to find a kill. This time on the Void Spirit. Lifestealer, he realized the combo can't be used on him, but he has to rage and run away as they do use the Stone Gaze to chase down. Toss forward is going to end before they can stone someone. But Nico Baby will chase on through. Look at the damage GH. Has enough to finish him off. And on the other side, Miracle, forced to fight against his will fall as well as the Alliance strike back.
Triple kill for Nico. What a better way to take that sort of fight. Yes, it did require all the rotations from Alliance down bottom, but Nigma, they tried to respond in kind, and just a bit of better spell usage, a little bit too much of an overextension, and some good, like you were saying before, maneuverability, getting that early pick off onto the StarLadder through the use of the glimpse. Big factor behind their victory in that team fight.
I mean, more importantly, you're playing into this situation Alliance wants, right? Like, the Medusa is being fed kills at that point, and what Alliance need to do is they need to actually fight you, right? They need to make sure the net worth lead is growing for the Medusa. And there's never really a threat onto Nico Baby. It's just onto more heroes from the side of Nigma. And when they show up outnumbered, you can already see, even without the big spells, at this point, Alliance do have the means to chase down.
Here we go. They're looking to fight again.
And they'll just trap them in. They don't want to commit
Very
here.
close to this Static Storm.
Limp is coming by just to say hi. And there's the glimpse back, but dodge out with the dissimulate. Means they will be just staring at each other. Moving in onto Limp. Ice Blast coming through. Everything Mystic Flare just to kill him off. It's going to be a trade as GH does die to Nico Baby. Handsgood throws down the Static Storm as they all walk into it. And the Stone Gaze was off cooldown. Hasn't been that long, but it will feel like a lifetime as Nico Baby now in trouble. Way too deep. The kisses are coming out. All the spells available. Alliance didn't even need to stack them together. It's going to have some impact as he comes back into the kisses. Mind Control is brought down by 33. The chase is on forward. Cookie gets dodged out by the rage. Miracle looking to go back in on Nico Baby, who is out of mana and soon to be out of life if he doesn't get some assistance here. And with the Remnant, it's good enough control. Infest in. Wee says, I can get you out in 10 seconds. But why go out when you can go in? As they will go deeper, looking for more. Drag on the Fada, brings him in because that Remnant. Cookie's forward for the team, he says, for the Alliance, as he is felt. And in the end, Nigma get the better side of the fight.
Pretty handy as well. They picked up the Philosopher's Stone that dropped for an Alliance kill, and it was picked up by Weeha there with the Void Spirits. So one tier 2 item extra going the way of Nigma. Just gives them that little bit of an extra advantage, and it shows the importance of taking the fights on their terms. Just a couple of seconds off on the Static Storm meant that they had to take a disadvantageous fight a little bit closer towards, I would say, a more open area as opposed to one of these clear choke points. And we saw the question answered, which was about the dissimulate. The glimpse previously would have brought him back, but not anymore.
I think they answered the question too. I'm not sure they were entirely certain with that one, but they find out the hard way. Yeah, I think the biggest thing is that Philosopher's Stone. You lose out on that, and all of a sudden you're in a situation where you have this disrupt, you have the Snapfire, two supports that would love that golden take, especially Hanskin, who would want to get towards the Nags as quick as possible against this team. Now that's not an option.
I mean, Weeha's holding it right now because a lot of his damage is coming from this Resonant Pulse, which is just, magic damage. Don't need any sort of physical.
A little bit of extra shadow, and when he's done with it, you can just pass it over to your Skywrath, who, by the way, almost has the Atos complete, just a few hundred gold off. And now there's the second Philosopher's Stone. We're sitting here going, how do I carry two? Not an option,
Easy money.
Should be given over to the Skywrath, most likely. Jump in. Speaking of Skywrath, he needs all the gold he can get now. He's dead. They use the kisses as well. They hard commit for this, but the response coming out. Static Storm is down. Does trap in Wee, but he doesn't care. Who's trapped in with who? His limp is just brought down courtesy of the Shatter. And Mind Control will move forward, unable to find Fada as he gets away in time. And once again, Alliance unable to make the connect quick enough and get out in time.
And that big downside of taking team fights when the creep wave is pushed next to your tower means that instantly that objective is taken by Nigma. And it's still looking a pretty even game. You can never count out a Medusa in this, and Nico Baby's been pretty good at dodging a lot of these team fights, farming when he's got the space, and now it's just on the rest of his team to make sure that they're not dying unnecessary deaths and lessening the chances that he has to get this lead extended.
No, and the situation does exacerbate itself a little bit in terms of Nigma's favor in the next few minutes, because they're going to be going towards these Desolators. Once you have the Deso online, there's the first one coming out. You can look towards Roche, right? The only thing you're trying to now do is force out Snapfire's ultimate or just kill her off. As Fada looks to the wrong place. This is the moment where they could just converge straight to the pit if they want to. Or you just push in, take tier 1 tower, maybe even a tier 2. And they'll hang around.
And we talked about the target priority all throughout this series, particularly in the last game with the Snapfire. Great choice to look to find where she would be on the backside and quickly pick her off. Only up in 10 seconds, so still has that potential for coming back and influencing this next fight, but
it's too quick.
Roche will go down way too quickly.
Absolutely, way too quick. Even with just a level 1 corrosive haze, now that you have that Deso with how they're hitting on the Armlet Lifestealer, we as well has the Chrysalis complete. It's going to be easy pick. Nothing you can do as well, because you'd be going to that fight without a Medusa. Nico Baby is still not ready to fight. This is always the issue. Every time with Medusa, you look over, you're like, okay, how many more items? And it's always just one more.
We just moved away from the smoke that was popped there, so not an ideal situation. Probably going to get spotted by this tower here, but Fada positioning himself relatively well again, where he died previously.
They know
time,
he's
though, I
got
think he's going to be
life stealer inside him, though. I don't think they want to go on Weir in any situation. However, Buddy Free is hanging around a little bit too long.
Well, the counter smoke coming through, but they're going in completely different directions.
They should realize this very quickly. This should be the moment where 33 doesn't... I don't think you even farm this wave. There has to be a call right now from your team going, okay, they're not here. We've de-warded, but they're completely missing from the map. Don't show.
Now he's not going to show. Surely.
You can see the moment where he turned around like, a lot of creeps.
Should I?
We could get a tier 1 tower out of it.
What's the worst that could happen?
I've heard that one too many times, and every time I wake up with a hangover and regret.
Valentine's.
Not so much that, maybe. I don't know. There's plenty of people in Twitch chat that can relate. You'll probably get drunk, but you don't worry about the regret in the morning. It's more the regret that leads to the drinking. Like
That's Future Pigeon's problem.
That's future. I think I'm more concerned about what Future Alliance's problem here is, because it's looking like they might not have a future in this qualifier at this rate. A 5,000 net worth lead already building, Nigma in control, and you don't have any answer soon. Yes, you've got a Medusa on the high ground. It's just a matter of if you get caught out of the base, close to the base, as you mentioned earlier when they took that tower, the speed at which this lineup hits towers, you lose the Medusa close to your base, you're going to lose a lane. And they're going to lose 33 at this rate. It's not the quickest kill, but there's a remnant. They do force out the stone gates, so they will completely retreat. That's all they want. It's a little hit and run. And that right there is value cloak, is all I'm going to say.
Yeah, I mean,
Because
it's
he'd be
hard
dead.
to say. Yes, it's hard to say who has the higher burst damage potential right now because a disproportionate amount of the net worth is on both of these position ones. Oh, glimpse back.
Kisses. Not a hard commitment, but this might backfire against them as they get nothing. And now you have no kisses for the big fight. I feel like I can never emphasize this enough. This is the thing with kisses, right? Like, this tells you how far behind Alliance feel right now. Is when you commit kisses like that, it's very low expectation. Because you know it's a slot over a pipe already. And it's only level 1 kisses. So now you don't even have the full potential damage output when you get into a big team fight. And you might lose even more as Hanskin gets found out. It'll just fall. Won't be worth committing the Static Storm. That's going to be a tier 2 tower full, and Nigma's going to take another one.
Now Alliance are in a very bad position because not only do you have to fight into an Aegis against a core that honestly you don't have a ton of answers to in the Lifestealer, he's also got the Halberd, so all the damage that's potentially going to kill him, you have to kill him twice through a Halberd, which is next to impossible.
Yeah, you can just see how very casually he comes down from his Tiny Airlines experience and immediately just starts hitting tower. It just doesn't phase him. And this is causes with armlet off. If he sees Tiny jump in, he'll just switch armlet on and live long enough. Tower will go down. Cookie gets dodged out by the rage. And it's tempting to actually infest to heal up, but they'll just back away. There's no rush here. They get a tower. They back off. You got some gold to spend. Wait for the next wave. Heal up by the time you arrive. Avalanche. Toss. Miracle says, what was that? Did someone just stop me for 2 seconds from hitting buildings? Problem. Big problem, actually. Gets caught out here. Aegis is gone. That's true, but this might be the back off, and you would have liked a lot more with this first Aegis. The Stonegate's going to go down. The kisses are coming out as well. Avalanche toss already, and he's just gone. Alliance strike back. The kisses won't reach much further. Kuro, moving away with that Glimmer Cape, will be able to TP out successfully. They only lose the Lifestealer, but Alliance have repelled the forces of Nigma out of their base.
Great crowd control coming from Alliance as well. I was talking about the difficulty in killing the Lifestealer. It doesn't really make a difference if you can't get that Heaven's Halberd off onto the Deucer while she's dealing all this damage through to you. So maybe going a little bit too far there, and the return for taking a tier 3 tower, not as big as it used to be.
No, that's the summarizing thing. When you actually look at the map, there's still a tier 2 in the mid, right? So Nigma, they aren't going to get much else out of that. You can actually see the way the push is waning because they only commit the Lifestealer at the front. And this Lifestealer, while he is fairly farmed and Miracle is having a great game, it's not your 18,000 net worth Lifestealer, right? Where he's bulked up a bit more. He has the XP advantage as well. And he's just this unassailable tank.
Just continuing to build up into the armor here on the Timbersaw. Got the plate mail queued up after finishing up the Lotus Orb. Potentially thought about, you know, will he finish up the Hood of Defiance at least? Maybe not necessarily a pipe, but just the Hood to make it a lot harder to kill him in particular.
I think you just keep the casual Hood with the braces, right? Because of the Skywrath threat. But right now, it's just... If you think about the armor state of things, if he gets hit by the Deso and a Corrosive Haze, and he doesn't have maxed out reactive armor, he just melts in the blink of an eye with the amount of damage they have. So I can understand that the plate mail takes priority in this situation. And then you probably at that stage just take out the cloak because you have 2 braces. Alternatively, you can just get rid of one of the braces now, as you're about to hit 15 as well, so...
Yeah. Nigma have definitely sacrificed their farming capabilities on the Lifestealer to go for this style of pick-off, to go for this tower-taking potential. You know, you've got the Basher...
they're going to fight as well. Jump in, but almost dead, moving away, wiggling off the Lotus Orb to try and reduce the damage, but he's going to go down the Cookie. Works to his benefit the way he died. Static Storm is going to be good. BKB chase through from Medusa. The kisses are out into Miracle. They're trying to seclude him from the team. The glimpse back to make sure he has no reinforcements, and he will go down. Kuro even might die on the exit as they're chasing for 33. If he can keep eyes on, they've got the glimpse in 7 seconds. Once again, Nigma punished for this aggression. You were trying to highlight it about their builds, right? They've gone for this go in, this commitment. It's not going to farm as hard as this Medusa, so they understand if you try and race a Medusa in this late game scenario, you lose. You have to go for active items now, and it has backfired twice. for Nigma.
Yeah, I mean, maybe the decision to go before the basher was completed was a little bit premature from them. Thinking that, you know, we've got the jump, Dusa might be slightly out of position, we might be able to catch someone, but they didn't have any vision up on the high ground, so them feeling particularly confident was a little bit perplexing.
And you can see why Alliance feel confident. You said they don't have any vision. Alliance like, damn right they don't. The amount of sentries laced in this area. And as I'm talking about that disruptor, well, he got the outpost. It's a little bit soon, though.
Which gets taken back.
Maybe he's as bad at counting as me and doesn't see that it's not 30 minutes yet. Nah.
Let's not talk about counting.
Hey, counting's hard. Okay. Sometimes you just want blood. All right, I'll give you numbers right now. 18-17 is the kill score right now. Net worth lead while in Nigma's favor. Just scrap that away. All right, this kill score is right now is closer representation of the state of this game. Either team could actually come out swinging at the end of this one and head over to the StarLadder miner. And when you think about the scaling potential as well, there is potential on both sides. You can never rule out the Medusa, as you said, who's queued up the Divine Rapier. That powerhouse could lead you to victory. At the same time, Nigma, they still have this 2-core combo with the crit build on Wii, with the way he's going towards this Bloodthorn next. He's going to have that relevance. And of course, Lifestealer needs no explanation. He just needs to get that Basher online so he actually has some lockdown of his own.
Oh man, that Rapier, that's going to be the game changer. Obviously, the only item left in the game that gives that true strike. Really effective this time around. And you have to think, you know, with this build that 3-3 is going, he's got the 4-staff queued up. Would it be better for him to try going for the pipe so that you have that little bit of extra magic resistance for the Dusa and the block as well? Or is the maneuverability in teamfights going to be the big thing for them? They haven't got a Hurricane Pike just yet, I don't believe, unless it's coming out to him. But just the Dragon Lance he feels is important for right now.
I think it's the fact that the Medusa went for the BKB, right? And you know Tiny should be tanky enough to be fine. So you're like, oh, I can just get, you know, standardized utility, right? Give you that mobility. And an Orb of Destruction coming up for Nico, baby. But that's the thing. Like, this BKB is the game changer. The fact that he has this, you've seen the way his fights are approached, right? Nigma can't actually reach the Medusa anymore. And the difference in that matchup right now, and the reason Rapier is so good on this hero, well, it's always been a great item, but the reason you can pick it up so early now is the change to Stone Gaze. That movement speed change of 50% now gives you the ability to chase down and actually use that Rapier. The issue with Medusa for a long time, sure I don't have to explain to you, Matt, is this fact you get late game, you can't even have your boots anymore. You're like, well, I'm stacking Rapiers, guys. So everyone just runs away from you.
Yeah. That's the thing. Do they have the potential to run away from them? Not really. You know, you've got this Tiny that's going to be blink tossing people back in. You've got 4-star for maneuverability. You've got the Glimpse. It's going to be very, very difficult. And then you've also got a Timbersaw chaining in after you. You've got a Snapfire that can give the extra mobility through the cookie. And then even if it is long range, you've got the Kisses. So, I don't know, Alliance are looking pretty decent right now. It's just a matter of, are they going to be caught out of position? And will Nigma be able to get a pick off? Now they've got the Basher. Now they've got the potential to pick someone off before these key abilities can come out. And they want to make sure that it's as hard to read as possible, trying to push out this lane before they go.
And you can tell this is a team decision the way they do it, because you mentioned the item build that Limp has gone for, right? He understands there's clearly a call probably a few minutes ago where he said, I'm not gonna be a powerhouse, right? I can't build in this right click build. There's no conversion point for me right now. So what do I do to make your game work, Nico, baby? And he sat there, reflected for a moment. Rapier.
Smoke's coming. He hasn't.
It's a
he's
wide wrap.
The Demon Edge portion of it.
He
I
has.
like it. This is what they need. They need to get on the back line.
This is his choke point.
Back line, though.
And that's straight away. My control's like, nope. Nope. I just want to see who's around here. Tell me who is in this neighborhood. No one you want to say hi to.
If that was a Disruptor or a Snapfire, I think they would have committed.
Yeah, but now Alliance, it's their turn to smoke. They need to be quick here. This rush won't take long. They need to get in position. They're not quick enough, though. They're going to try and actually maybe just submit the fact that the Aegis won't be in their hands, but they can punish them here. In this choke point, this could be huge for them, even if the Aegis is in the hands of their opponents. Limp jumps in. Aegis being picked up, though. 4-stuff away, and Limp's already almost dead. The Kiss is coming through. They'll get rid of the Skyraft. 1-for-1 trade right now. Glimpse is going to come out, dragging him back towards the Stone Gaze. Medusa, and Nico Baby activates the BKB, brings down Mind Control as well. Buyback will come out from Tiny. He says now's the time to fight. We slash him through, looking for the kills. Hands get controlled up, will be brought down, and it's starting to go in favor of Nigma as Miracle surges forward towards Nico Baby, who has no way of protecting himself anymore. The controller's out, the Ice Blast comes in, Lim gets clipped as well, and Medusa's going to be brought down, dead for 80 seconds, and the chase is on. Limp retreats towards the base. They leave behind the Timber. He says, go. There's no way out for me. Ultra kill for Wii. No one left around for the Rampage. But now they have an Aegis to pivot off and a Medusa dead for 80 seconds. And they would have noticed that Demon's Edge.
Yeah, and oh man, it's just the difference that literally 1 second can make. He blinks in just after they finish it. Could have gone for the snatch. I know that the Tiny had the open inventory slot available, so he didn't have that bracer handy. That little bit of extra magic resist, that little bit of extra HP could have been the difference between having to buy back and not. So just that one decision could be the thing that unfortunately causes Alliance to bow out at the last stage of this minor qualifier.
And it's one of these type of scenarios where you could have potentially used the kisses to just set up that zone of destruction. So Nigma friend, right? You could have done it prematurely. But it shows you the state of the game for Alliance. That they need every element at their disposal to drop Nigma's members. So if they throw out the kisses and they use it more as a scouting tool, and it's wrong, and that call is wrong and spotted out, instantly they can no longer fight for 110 seconds. And that is the struggle for Alliance. As you said, just a second difference between it being a good move and a bad. And just the issue we sometimes see for teams, right? Where they try and over-rotate. The wrap, like you could see a moment where they were considering just going up into the dire high ground before committing. And it backfires hard for them as a result of that. Now Nico Baby, his only choice is to try and see if his team can buy enough time that he can complete this rapier. It's not going to be easy to even get the core out there if Nigma keep playing around in this area of the map anyway.
You can see as well this itemization. Getting lucky enough to get the Paladin Sword here on Miracle, so even more difficult to kill him. It's literally needing 100-0 lockdown on him. So many methods of escape, so many methods of survivability, and then that sustain in team fights.
The spooky visual. And we still carrying that Orb of Destruction, just ensuring there is next to no armor on these heroes. Even Limp's Tiny only has that level 2 grow, so they can bring him down to negative armor with ease.
He's infested, but Alliance wisely reading the map. Also, you know, bit of vision helps. But backing
that's how you read the map.
The safety of their high ground.
For everyone watching, for all you cues, that is the #1 way to be able to read the map. By vision.
There is a thing in the bottom left corner of your screen, and that's what you should look at.
Yeah, step 1's looking at it. Step 2 is polluting it with wards. I say polluting it because when you begin, your wards will probably all be terrible. But don't worry, if they're bad enough, your opponent will overthink it and never deward you.
Correct. Just don't put it under towers. Or outposts. I've seen way too many of that.
Oh yeah, that's... I mean, we've seen some cute wards today, like that Primal Roar setup because they warded in the tree line next to the tower. That's appropriate in given scenarios, but leave that to the pros. Both these teams have shown why they can make those sort of ballsy moves and they can pay off. But right now, Nigma are looking to have this series pay off incomplete for them as they have a 15,000 net worth lead and they want to push it to the limit.
Yeah, we've got the Solar Crest up and available on Kuroki as well. We'll be using it on Miracle, perhaps Mind Controllers. He doesn't really care about this repair kit.
No, Miracle is less phased than last time he approached this base. He's learnt his lessons and his mistakes, and with so many extra items now in the hands of Nigma, it's easier for them to do this with less chance of repercussion, shall we say, coming out from the side of Alliance. And they're going to be forced to fight before the Rapier is ready at this rate. Avalanche toss, they just want to try and get this Aegis because they're just 1,000 gold away from having Rapier complete. The tower is already gone.
Insane amount of lifesteal though.
It only works when he actually lifesteals things though. And they stop them short of getting the melee racks. They will back off, and that's the breathing room they need as long as they don't come immediately back in. As Nico Baby is just 800 gold away. The courier's already on its way out.
He's healthy again. Also got that double damage in the top lane, but no one's there to pick it up.
He's definitely looking full of life. Unlike these racks, as the second lane will fall. And Aegis.
Just gone.
Lovely time. The glimpse back. Avoided, though. It's called Rage. There's no way you're getting a kill on a lifesteal like that. But that does give you the space you need to try and get this rapier complete. Nico Baby will come out of that smoke to farm it up. He's still a few hundred gold short. If they find Miracle as the kill, which enables him to go for that rapier, you couldn't ask for a better scenario. And there it is. Avalanche toss in. Static Storm is down. The Kisses as well. And Miracle is begging for help, but his team no longer know his name, as he's the one who ends up praying for a miracle. And Nico Baby, look at this, 50 gold. It's going to be complete. This is the rapier. This is where you need to get out on the map. You need to push down hard, try and catch your opponents off guard.
This is it. Oh, someone's in a bit of a precarious position. We are sitting right underneath
He has vision.
them.
He has full vision, though.
No one else is there.
He wants to snipe it out. There it is. Hanska gets found. The DD gets his max impact. And he moves across on the Fada as well. It's we versus the world. He's going to start to feel the pain, though. The greed will be punished. He's trying to move away, and they will chase forward, but they don't have the damage to finish. His father can't do it alone. He needs some assistance to step out. If they can get the scatter blaster, no, they find him. He smells the fear of we and crushes him, mind, body, and spirit alike. Dead for 80 seconds and 900 golds into the hand of the Tiny.
What are they doing with this time, though? They're already down 2 lanes of Rax. They need to push in the lanes, and GH and Kuroki and Mind Control, they've done a fantastic job of making sure that there's not going to be any fear of any sort of consequence for those sorts of deep deaths.
That's right. That's the advantage you have when you pushed in, right? This is why it's always, you know, this team is 2, 3, maybe 4 fights away from winning the game. It's all about that first fight that gets you out on the map, the second fight that gets you on their side of the map. Bird is usually fixated around Roche, which could be up in a minute's time.
You know, it's great that they could get the kills onto these cores, but other than a nice little gold bounty of, actually that's not bad, 900 for Weeha, and just under 600 for the Miracle Death, not really too much resulted from it. An outpost at this stage of the game, especially when there's 3 minutes remaining until the next lot of experience goes out, it's not going to be a big game changer. I think
but it
level
does make
25 is the next biggest thing, and the next neutral items.
But it also does make Nigma pivot back a little bit, right? In this situation, when you see the lanes are naturally going to push in, what you want to try and do is you want to try and expedite that process. You want to shove them in. But as we just presented, if you get caught out of position, you can still very easily die to this lineup. So now you're in this situation where you want to get their attention on the out lanes in prep for Roshan, and Alliance instead, they're going deep looking for an opportunity. I'll take that outpost away. If this is a quick Roche spawn, it's not. 2 minutes. And this definitely favors the side of Nigma.
Top lane pushing in, so reveals a lot about Alliance's positioning. If you've got this giant super creep wave, 2 waves actually, 3 pushing into the base.
And now Nigma, they see the opportunity to rotate. Smoked up and on the move.
Wow,
They got
they're
that.
actually moving back for it.
They are.
Just taking the backdoor protection mid lane.
The racks aren't what get you the win here. You're up against a Medusa or a Rapier. You need to kill her. You do that, you break Alliance.
Look at this handskin positioning. So deep. Right on the edge. But now the tier 4s, they're under siege.
They're still ignoring it. They're hesitant to come back because both teams are just waiting for this Roche. And if you come back, you know that the side of Nigma could just hold you in these choke points and stop you from
Here we
even
go.
getting in.
They're going.
They've had enough. And there's the TV's back. They finally get eyes on what Nigma's doing.
That's a valuable resource to be expended. Tier 4's now very much in the equation.
It's a high value play, right? Like the potential upside for Alliance there is you find a crucial pick and then you completely take leverage over the map. I don't blame them for making that play. It beats you standing in the base, and that's the more anticipated play. When you have this Medusa, the traditional thing that Medusa's always done when they're behind is, guys, I need another Rapier. And they'll just sit and they'll farm waves safely. But as a result,
Deep again.
I was going to say, as a result, now they find themselves in a situation where you have had to surrender your control of that side of the map. Nigma are fully aware of this, and now you maybe don't have a favorable location when it comes towards the Roche situation.
They've just had a gem delivered through onto Limp, so it's all about getting control back on this map. Are they going to try and go for this outpost as well? Because right now they're not getting any experience, and when you need Nico to hit up into his level 25, that might be the key difference maker. Don't think they'll have time.
It's way too late. It's not worth the risk right now. This next fight will decide whether they actually can defib themselves back into this game, or if they just want to sign their own death warrants. And Farda's going to do exactly that as he gets caught out. Mind Control is hunting forward. Can't see anyone, though. They know they're on the high ground, but it's a Medusa, so you respect it. Instead, you eye up Roche. It has just spawned. There's no easy way you can interrupt this right now. Not unless you buy back on the Snapfire straight away, and even then, it's a long trek across. And this is going to be the Aghanims as well. You do not want to give that to a StarLadder.
They'll have much choice.
Limp.
Oh, they went for the steal.
He got the Aegis. He got the kill and the Aegis. And that will be all he'll pick up. He'll be happy with that. He'll give over his life. They're waiting behind him. Maybe they try and fight, but BKB from Mind Control. Limp not able to easily get out of this. Will fall. Nico Baby, he shot once. Limp is buying a little bit of time, but it's just enough time that they retreat after they revealed they were still waiting around. All right. Alliance keeping it a little bit tasty. They might find a little nutritional snack on the side as Hanskin gets blitzed down. Ran over by Wee.
I don't know about that one. I think maybe he was trying to keep that top wave pushed out a little bit with the Thunderstrike, but caught out of position there. Probably have to force his buyback, even though he's only got 35 seconds on the respawn timer.
Situation for both of them, really, at this rate. Medusa is at risk if she comes too far forward in this, and there's the buyback of Tiny. You're still going to lose the tower. This is do or die. Nigma have had enough. You take away their toys, they take away your base, and they're going to take away your timber if he's not careful. Moves out the Ice Blast just in time. Stone Gaze been used. Toss back, Avalanche control, but Miracle's out with the Glimmer Cape. And now you have no Stone Gaze. A Medusa that is now incredibly vulnerable in the jump in. Mind Control moving forward. Misses the Slithering Crush, but the Remnant comes out in the Snapfire. Controlled up. BKB activated. We chasing in the meantime. 33 just being wailed on by Miracle. They will lose the Snapfire. Buyback comes out. Still has the Kisses to work with, and 33 is still alive. They're just trying to get the racks right now. Toss away. Trying to keep Miracle off the buildings, but Mind Control will go in to finish the deal. BKB trying to slow him down. He's not doing that much damage, but he will do enough to bring it down. He'll be able to get the racks, the Mega Creeps, and get out. And the Kisses will not find kills, other than the Void Spirit, who's brought down pretty early. But now Mind Control able to move away in time. Miracle still farming up items. If there's anything Miracle's going to do in the game, it's farm. But they miss the opportunity to trap him in the Static Storm. He'll go for the TP away. This is ballsy, but he will make it out just in time.
The Rapier just not enough, and you have to feel that maybe if those little bit of extra experience was gotten from the outposts, it would have been the difference maker. You know, hitting up onto those level 20 talents a bit earlier on the Timber as well as the Tiny. Hitting the level 25 on the Deucer just a little bit earlier. Kuro?
He's just doing this to keep them away. Like, this is the Alliance's only play. They have to go down mid and try to pivot this Rapier.
It's gonna ball back.
And instead, in they go. Control out to 33. Mind Control might melt up here. He walks straight into Limp, but that wasn't what he wanted. And now the chase is on the Miracle. He got out once. I'm not sure if he does it again. The cookie is there. Kinetic Foot to trap him in. No raid for 5 seconds, and they see everything. And they will be able to burst him down in time.
Kuro's gonna melt.
Gone. Kuro is indeed melting, trying to move away quick enough, but they stay on top of him. I think he just ate the cheese as well, and he'll also die. Nigma, in a rush to try and keep the pressure on and stop Alliance, are now hemorrhaging heroes one by one.
Yeah, and those tier 4 items become available as well. The Illusionist Cape, pretty effective on the Deucer. You can pop it, use the illusion to help split push, and there's also a gem on the ground just at the top of this little ramp here on the left side on the Radiant Tri-Camp area. So wonder if that was spotted out. I don't think so by the Disrupt.
No, it doesn't look like that is going to be the case. I think they're just more focused on trying to get down mid. You need to force all the buybacks you can. You assume that every member of Nigma has buyback. You will then be surprised if you reach their base in time to learn that Lifestealer does not. And considering the situation you have put Alliance in, they don't have many other plays than going mid hard. And with a double Rapier, that may be the only play left for the side of Alliance.
Yeah, we can see the Boots of Travel queued up here by Limp. He's pushing out the spot lane, and then he wants to get right back in the action.
Stand strong behind your Deucer. Repair kit. Both sides can use the same sense of irony to hold back. Nico Baby looking fine for the moment. Will sidestep the Ice Blast. He can't afford to go back. This is in or you are out of this qualifier. And they ping it. They need to move beyond the racks. They have to go for it. There is no other option. You can attack without being hit up by the tower. Repair kit to slow this down. 30 seconds might be long enough, but there's the glyph to buy some time. They force it out early, but Lifestealer will be available with this fight. And look at the throw. They're losing it right now. The glyph. Snapfire will go back. You need to actually stay here, which means they know you're now at numbers device. This is the moment where they could try and deal with Nico Baby. Solo Crest to slow him down. BKB gets activated just to bring down another tower, and they stab the backline. Hanskin has to use a static storm, but he's free to do what he wants. Mind control will be melt through once, but he eats the cheese. Hex is going to come out. Moving forward, Mystic Flare. They stack on top of the Medusa to keep her in the game. This is the way that they win, and then look at that. They're going to do it live. They do it! They take the game! The damage overwhelms Nigma and crushes the hopes of making it to this land as Alliance, against the odds, against Mega Creeps, and with the double Rapier play, they take the series 3-2.
Oh my god, what an end to a series like that. They were still down 11k net worth at that point. Down Mega Creeps. Creeps hitting the fountain. Like, fountain, the throne, you know what I mean. It's an overwhelming thing. It's 4:40 a.m. in the morning here in Australia, but I would rather be nowhere else than watching a game like that. Congratulations to Alliance. Well-deserved victory after, I mean, just remember back to the Majors group stage, right? They were 4th in their group, and they've managed to claw their way all the way to the minor.
Oh, my heart, man. I can't take... Alliance, no matter what you do to the roster, no matter how you change them, it is always this same thing at its core. These games that keep you on the edge of your seat, and Nigma definitely had them on the edge of the abyss, but Alliance, they earned this bounce back. They pivot into this Medusa. It's a rough start to the game, and everything, let's be honest here, right? If we had odds, right? If we'd actually looked at the grass for a second, you look at the win probability, even at the end, Gaben he can't fathom it. He's like, wait, what?
92% chance that Nigma was gonna win.
And then look at that bounce back. That bounce back is like, they only have like, you know, they've not even got a good chance of winning this. Alliance aren't totally gonna come through. But then that second Rapier, the timing as well. When you think that Nigma has bought enough time because Lifestealer is back in the fight, and then Nico Baby unleashed. The way that they literally just stacked all bodies on top of him to protect him, whether it's from right clicks or AoEs, buys enough time that they end this game. And honest to God, congratulations to the Alliance. A much-earned victory. Commiserations to Nigma. This definitely looked like it might be their game, but never, ever, as you said, Matt, rule out a Medusa.
I just can't wait till the 50,000 people in Twitch chat catch up and can watch all this. I'm just going to sit back and watch the reactions.
Their hearts are going to break and others are going to rise, depending on whether you're an Alliance or a Nigma fan. Something you have to take away from this is that this was an amazing game of Dota back and forth. And honestly,
script never lies.
I don't know. I don't know what this script is you're talking about. I will say that I am a prophet sent from above to give you the call of Alliance winning. But that
there's clips. There's clips. Don't worry about that.
I don't know. They're probably buried. I'll bury them. I'll just clip like non-stop. In fact, I'm pretty sure the moments in this game alone will bury that clip for eternity. But that does actually bring us to a close. Thank you for joining me in the cast, Danog. I know it was midway through. I know you were getting ready to sit down and cry your way through a series of Netflix on a lonely Valentine night.
More like ice cream. I was gonna, polish
ice cream and Netflix.
Ice cream.
All right, you still got that plan ahead of you. You can stay out through the night. I mean, it's basically the morning for you now. But I've
got an engagement party today. Like I actually needed to sleep.
You just show
but
up
then you
covered
message
in
me
ice
and I'm
cream.
just like, you know what? There's very few chances that you get to jump into a game like this. So more than happy to, and well worth it. Well worth it.
Definitely well worth it. Thank you very much for joining me. And thank you for joining us in the chat, in the view, and enjoying this experience. It has been a pleasure to cast these minor qualifiers. The time has come for us to leave you. I'm sure there'll be an announcement coming out from StarLadder soon about who's going to be joining and which talent will continue this story for Alliance as they head towards the main event of StarLadder and try to keep that dream alive of going to ESL LA. But we are done here. You have been wonderful, chat. You have been wonderful, all your viewers. Mwah. We love you, but we must say farewell. Goodbye. Au revoir. Give me a third one, Matt.
Cheers.